Hi folks, back with another case study. This time I'll be discussing a client who came to me with severe alcohol dependency. He struggled to avoid drinking every night, consuming 3/4 to a full bottle of vodka each night. He actually reported that he was hurting his family and also hiding the habit while being unable to cope with life situations without a drink. He was in a desperate situation when he reached out, to say the least. As with all clients, he had pre-session tasking or homework to complete. The work that I assign is designed to regulate the nervous system, build awareness, lower stress, and educate the client about their conscious and unconscious mind. Because as we know, knowledge is power. In session 1, he reported that simply doing the pre-session tasking allowed him to start thinking differently. With my experience in the field, I've concluded that the majority of addictions are driven by unresolved negative emotions such as anxiety, depression, and other unresolved trauma. This is not something I spell out explicitly, but through the process, a client often comes to this conclusion themselves as we work to resolve the issue at its root cause. This particular client had a clear understanding that the drinking issue was just the tip of the iceberg and knew there was a lot of other deeper, seemingly unrelated factors that were driving this problem. This was fantastic because it allowed us to focus on the deeper structure of the problem immediately, setting up a foundation for rapid and seamless transformation. In session 1, I conducted a detailed personal history with the client and discovered a lot of stress and unresolved trauma in his life. It was also clear that he had very poor boundaries. And many of my clients and course attendees know that boundaries is one of the 3 major factors to ensuring that change doesn't only take place, but is sustained after the formal interventions have been completed. We call these the 3 major requisites of change. They are: 1, focus on what you want; 2, take action; and 3, enforce your boundaries. If a person has poor boundaries, it often plays out consciously or unconsciously. If the unconscious mind is getting cranky, it'll force you to pay attention, typically by bringing up negative or unwanted emotions. This can cause people to engage in habits such as binge drinking and eating as a way to self-soothe and cope with these unwanted emotions. The major limiting beliefs identified in session 1 were: drinking is my way out of not dealing with things. It's my way to bury what I'm feeling. It doesn't take much for me to get a drink. If I have a good day, I drink. Desire to drink when my grandson goes to bed. Wanting to feel numb and not think. Additionally, emotions like anger, hurt, anger with self, disappointment in self, and feeling used. Feeling walked all over. The poor me mentality. Drinking as my time. Being too hard on myself. Fear of being judged if I start talking. Always feeling the need to put on a front. Belief in a chemical imbalance causing depression. We also identified his desired outcome in session 1. As with all breakthrough programs, once the outcome is specifically defined, the remainder of the process is dedicated to helping achieve this rapidly and easily. We define the outcome as how the client will know that the problem has totally disappeared. And the outcome was as follows: I can deal with things without thinking that they're a big problem. I can be more open and talk without feeling judged by family, being able to do that freely. Being happier with what I have. Everything is good in my life. I'll feel more at ease, more calm, not getting stressed over little things, enjoying life, and not feeling the need to drink almost a bottle a night. Triggers for drinking were clear: when annoyed, when having a good day, when bored, while shopping, and in his room. In the breakthroughs that I do with my clients, I always allow the client to let go of the 5 major negative emotions first. Those 5 major negative emotions are anger, sadness, fear, hurt, and guilt. After conducting the detailed personal history with the client, we had time for some interventions and change work. I helped him let go of anger and sadness before wrapping up with session 1. Session 2. When the client arrived for the second session, he reported, "I'm still not drinking. This week I've been really tired and I have been sleeping better." Since we had not done much formal change work other than addressing anger and sadness, this was not unexpected. There were many more targets to address before I would have expected the client arriving and stating, "I don't have an urge to drink anymore." We continued the session working on healing and letting go of the following emotions: fear, hurt, and guilt. After clearing the 5 major negative emotions, I checked to see what negative emotions were remaining and which had disappeared. Clearing these major blockages often washes away many other negative emotions. Additional emotions that were resolved as a result of the 5 were hopelessness, depression, anxiety, nervousness, and feeling used. This left us with 1 negative emotion to let go of before moving to limiting beliefs. And that was disappointment in self. After letting go of this emotion, it was time to address the remaining limiting beliefs. Many beliefs organically release as a result of the previous work. Further investigation revealed that the client had also let go of fear of disappointing others, anger with self, and disappointment in self. At this stage, we looked for any remaining presenting problems which were identified and released. These specific limiting beliefs were: not asking for help makes me feel weak, belief that I have a chemical imbalance causing depression, difficulty expressing annoyance in a nice way, fear of saying no and not wanting to disappoint others. After the client had let go of these, we found an additional belief had been organically released. The belief, fear of not being asked for a favor again if I'm busy. Further investigation led to finding an additional emotional target, which was fear of rejection. We worked on letting go of this, which was the final target for the session. Session 3. After letting go of many targets in the previous session, the client had managed to achieve his outcome. He reported some big wins, including big wins with boundaries. He was notorious with having poor boundaries and letting people violate them often. Boundaries were intrinsically linked to the client achieving and maintaining his outcome. He reported a boundary moment where he said no to his daughter, which was a big deal as he had never said no before. No internal argument about buying alcohol while shopping was also a defining moment for the client, because typically every time he went to the shops, he was in that internal battle. But upon arriving at the shops, he realized he was free of that internal battle. The client had made incredible change, moving from being ruled by the habit to having a choice and choosing not to drink. I continued the session to double and triple check all the targets and found one more to work on. Guilt from when his son moved out, feeling that his drinking was to blame, creating a block in reaching out to his son. We cleared this and it was the last major target. Finally, I checked the outcome defined in session 1 and the client agreed that he achieved everything that had been previously defined. It was a huge win. We wrapped up the session with goal setting, putting goals into the future timeline and ensuring the unconscious mind was programmed to continue with the change in the future. Goal setting is an essential part of any breakthrough, as it ensures the unconscious mind supports the outcome in perpetuity. Upon completion of the program, the client contacted me several months later. He was still not drinking and lost around 8 kilograms without even trying. He stated that he felt better than he had felt in a long time, feeling healthy, happy, and was now doing great with his boundaries. This concludes the case study. If you got value from it or know anyone that could, please share, like, and subscribe this video. You can contact me online via Instagram at Matthew Tweedy Coaching or email info@matthewtweedyhypnosis.com.au. I'll see you on the next one.